Or maybe meeting aliens would bring us all closer together. So we would hate the aliens, but maybe racism would go away. Things to think about. Hey artists and art lovers, it's Allison, and if I'm glowing, it's because I just finished a workout and I'm very energized from finally being able to go back to the gym. And I also had an energy drink. So the glow is the natural sweat. But it kind of, I mean, to me, it's looking cute. It looks like I did like my makeup. I did do my eyeliner. Anyway, today's good news, as you can see, I'm already all over the place, but today's good news is about a man named Easton LaChapelle. Great name, by the way, but he learned about robotics on YouTube, and he is now using 3D printing and the things that he learned about robotics to make affordable prosthetics for people. So I just think that's amazing. It's like we're living in such an age of information, and like you can do whatever you want. Like make videos where you draw for 30 minutes. So even though I'm feeling more confident drawing hands because I've been doing it more and more lately, I am still so nervous starting this. So what I'm trying to do a little differently is, instead of doing like a hard outline like I did on the eyes, I'm going to do more of like a stipple and forced outline like I did right here on the jaw. And my hope is that by doing that, I kind of, what's the word, make it less likely that I'll make a mistake. Because even though I already lined this in pencil, there's so many times, like just about every drawing I do when I'm like going over and adding ink, I do a line with the pen that I didn't like mean to, or it doesn't look right. It's like the pencil is a suggestion and then the pen just does what it wants. So I used my own hand for reference here. I have really long nails. I really need to do something about that now that I'm back at the gym for sure. It's funny, it's like you would think that going back to the gym and doing like a workout would make me more tired, but I have so much more energy than I normally would right now because of, like, I don't know, I guess like an endorphin rush. Oh, I missed it. That mind-body connection is real. But also, I'm like way less focused than normal. Ugh. So I also, as you know, every time I come back to a drawing when I'm spending this much time on it, I see things that I want to tweak. So like the lines of the subject being like pulled away and like disintegrating, kind of like being deconstructed. I made them really thin at first, and when I was looking at it today, I was like, I just feel like they're too thin. So I'm gonna add some more to that as well. And I might also need to, since I'm gonna be adding more stipples like I did up here, I might have to like do something a little different so that it doesn't like blend in to the neck. Okay, but look, see how I'm distracting myself from doing the hand because I'm nervous? You can't have that. You gotta commit. It's such a fine balance between like feeling the art and letting it decide so that it's a flow, like it's you working with the picture, and then you just avoiding every part that you don't want to do. Like I find myself doing that a lot. Like I'll tell myself, okay, I'm gonna do this part of the drawing today, and then I end up at a totally different part. Like, why are hands so difficult? I would love for someone to tell. And why is my hair like so giant? Get out of the frame. Hang on, I gotta tie it back. Okay. So it's weird to me when I think about hands, like why are they so hard to draw when we literally like see them all day? We do just about everything with them and they look pretty simple. It's just 5 fingers on a blob, but then when I try to draw them it just looks exactly like that. It looks like 5 sticks sticking out of a chunk of Play-Doh. I mean, but I am definitely getting better with practice and with trusting myself and just doing it. And I said this in the video where I was drawing this with pencil, it's really easy to second guess like the shapes that you're seeing when you draw hands because they don't look right when they're in progress. And then it honestly looks like, how are these human things? They look like aliens. I would love to hear an alien's response to our hands. Because every time you see aliens like in a video game, they usually have like this kind of deal. Wah, wah, like Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. No, Frieza has 5 fingers, but his feet are like that. But I feel like if you played Mass Effect, a lot of video games, the aliens have like 3 big fingers, or 2 big fingers and a thumb, I guess. Ugh. So I wonder like why we decided that that's what alien hands look like. Because it's probably most likely that any alien that like can build a spaceship and come see us, they probably have opposable thumbs and as many fingers as we have. Or maybe they're so high above us, like they evolved so differently that they just don't even need hands. They're like past it and they would think we're like so stupid for using hands. So already I'm second guessing where I have this finger because it just looks weird, right? Like why is there so much of it? But I'm just gonna trust myself and figure out like where the knuckles are. So that's the one bendy. This is the finger bendy, like where the finger bends. And then that's the little whoop. And then here's where the fingernail is. Oh, I'm so nervous to mess this up. I wonder if I'll ever get to a point where like doing my own drawings does not make me nervous. Well, it's probably making me a little more nervous than normal because I'm doing it in front of you guys. But it's still kind of like, ee. Here's this knuckle. That's a knucklehead. So if you notice, I'm doing like really faint pen lines because I'm feeling like, I don't know, this is kind of like the experimental one of the bunch. Like I'm trying out not having those hard lines that I mentioned. So hopefully it looks good. I mean, I think it will. I think it looks pretty good right now, but hopefully it just doesn't look like, I don't know, just ridiculous. This is the finger that I thought looked like a knobbly witch finger when I was drawing it in pencil. You know, speaking of alien hands, I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball Z for, you know, like the past 5 or 6 years. It's like my favorite show. And Piccolo's nails are on point. Go look at them. They are always done. They've got that like perfect point at the end. I love it. Honestly, goals. I would love to like get my nails looking like that. They're long, but they're not like perfectly pointed. But the thing is, like, going back to the gym, I can't have like long nails anymore because it's hard to like make a fist for like deadlifts and all that other stuff. So I'm gonna have to cut them. But it's for the best. It's probably more hygienic. So this finger, it's like, I feel like it looks too round, but I think once I like add in the shading later, it will look better. But right now I think it looks really weird and fat. It's like Bobby Hill's head. It's at that angle where you're looking at it like right from the side, so it just looks weird. And then there's this. Okay. That. I wonder if a palm reader would be really good at drawing hands, because they're like really looking at hands all the time. So later I'm definitely gonna have to go in, add more shading, and then I also want to like maybe do like what I'm doing right here and just do like a ton of stipples on the edge so that it almost looks like a line, so that it doesn't look as like grainy and fuzzy, because those are still edges and I want them to look like that, if that makes sense. Like I still want them to, I don't want it to look out of focus, especially because I have like this going on. Like I definitely need it to be apparent what's being pulled away and kind of like fading away and what's defined and still here. Alright, this is the tough one because it's bent and it's a pinky, so it's shorter than the rest. And like, I feel like this bend is a little curvier than it should be. Okay, I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to envision what should be happening. Like this is like the top of the finger, like this section, and then over here is like the underside. Okay, there's that knuckle. Another long nail. Okay. And then the pinky also, it just looks so big because it's the closest one to the like camera, to the viewer. I hope this looks good when I'm done. Okay. Alright, and then I decided to add the thumb, even though I couldn't quite see it in the reference photo I took, because it just looked a little too weird without the thumb. So here we go. Big thumb. And then since it's the back, it's going to have that line here. It's kind of hard to like make out because there's so much pencil for where I changed my mind. Just going to line it. And then that like divot in the hand. Oop. It's like the hand butt. That's what I'll call it. That's the technical term. Alright. And then there's some shadows here. And then this is like, what is this called? This, is that, I don't know what that's called. Things that I could Google and don't. Like literally all I'd have to do is stop recording and just go, okay, I'm gonna do it. It's looking like it's the ulna that I'm talking about. All right, it's coming along. I'm still not at a point where I want to erase anything yet, because if I have done this before, like you erase these like guiding lines too soon and then you see that there's like nothing, and it, you know, it's like everything looks stupid without that extra definition there. These extra like shadows that the pencil left. So I want to do as much as I can here before I take anything away. Like right here, for instance, this pencil line is kind of showing me where the top of the pinky is and where like the side and underside is. So it like looks to me like I have enough ink and I can just erase it, but if I took that away, I'd have to figure that out all over again. And Pencil Alison figured this out for me, so Ink Alison should just take advantage of it and not get hasty. So like I've said before, that's definitely my weakness, is I get too impatient, I get too excited to finish it, and then I rush the piece, and it's not as good as it could be. Okay, so there's gonna be a shadow here, shadow here. Really all of this is gonna be pretty dark. So it'll be interesting to see how like this works together. I'm gonna do like, I think I do want this to be a hard line though. I mean, that looks good, actually. It's like if the line and the stipples, if I can find the balance, it works really nicely. But if they're not working together, like if the stipples aren't fading into the line nicely, it looks a little bit too artificial. And I'm really trying to toe the line between like not looking extremely realistic, but looking like nice, like close enough. Close enough. I still kind of want some of my style in there. So yeah, you can see like where this pulling away of self is being interrupted. So that should be like a pretty dramatic moment. Well, as usual, I'm all over the place. I'm still kind of thinking about alien hands. Sometimes it really does bum me out that we will probably never meet aliens, definitely not in my lifetime. I mean, I know it might be like an Independence Day type scenario where we don't get along. But I think what would happen, I'm just gonna go into this topic. I think what would happen is that we would have like a war at first, but then, you know, there would be somebody, some Jeff Goldblum type I'm imagining, who would bridge the gap and be like, we really just have more in common than we have different. But then, I don't know, like humans can't even get along with each other because we have different colored skin, so maybe we would never be able to accept like aliens. Or maybe meeting aliens would bring us all closer together. So we would hate the aliens, but maybe racism would go away. Things to think about. So that's another reason, honestly, to like want to meet an alien or want aliens to come visit. I would love if people stopped being racist. But I don't want them to be mean to aliens. Oh, this is, I don't know. What do you guys think? So since this came out pretty well, and I was talking about like the way the stipples fade into the line, so I'm gonna commit a little more. Make sure that where the shadows are is still making sense. And I also have to think about the fact that, like, I mean, I'm using myself as a reference. So I have dark skin, so some of this isn't just shadow and highlight, like some of it is just like dark versus light skin. So there's that to consider, just to add an extra layer to that. And then I get to decide like if I want to leave the nails white or if I want to make them black. I just love black nails. There's an episode of Star Trek, speaking of aliens and hands, where it was the original series and Kirk and Spock were on this planet where they're trying to like mine something, and there was this alien that was like, I want to say it was a silicone based life form, so it moved through solids the way we move through air, you know, and it didn't have hands at all. I like, maybe if we met aliens they would be like that. But also, that alien didn't seem interested in traveling or meeting anyone. It was mostly just interested in like being left alone and being in the rocks. So, doesn't really seem likely that we'll meet anything like that. Okay, so I finished the hand and I'm gonna call it for today. I think that's a great stopping point. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and listening to me talk about hands. And let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.